Okay, so let me start with chapter 4, homework first. Then I will talk about the test, and then we will start on chapter 6. So let me start with this. So let me go directly on that. Why it is taking? Mm, This is not the one. So here we have the question. How many students have more than 75% chance of admission? How many students have more than 75% chance of admission? So this question can be answered using, oh, why my computer is just, I go here, graph, I use histogram. In histogram, okay, chance of admission is right here. And then levels, let me put the data levels. Okay. So edit graph, and then I go to edit bars. So binning, let me use cut point number of intervals. Let me use only 7 of them. Okay, here we go. Again, I use edit bars, binning, and let me use here the question 0.7, 0.8, 0.91. So these are the, so instead of this, I'm just going to use 0.7499 or 0.75. Okay. Okay. Can you see? So this is the number. After 0.7499, how many are coming? Or even you can get this 85 plus 70 plus 63, or I can do it, by just hmm, number of intervals, and I can make it 5. So here I can do this very simply. You can see 148 plus 70, how many? 148 plus 70 is the answer. So this is the very first answer that we have to give. So which is 218. Okay, now let me go on the second question. Very easy. What is the middle 50% GRE range? Okay. What is the top 75% of a range? So let me go again. Basic statistics. basic statistics, descriptive. Let me take GRE and TOEFL together. Statistics, we need interquartile range and variance. I mean, let it be. Or just make it very simple. So instead of all the numbers, I am just going to do only interquartile range and I can answer both the question. GRE, statistics, I don't need this. I don't need all these. First quartile, median, third quartile, interquartile range, minimum and maximum. These are the numbers I need. And I can also take. Okay, look on the GRE. What is the minimum now? What is the quartile 1 and quartile 3? So interquartile range is 17. The answer is 17 because we are looking middle 50%. So let's say this is the data. This is 25%, this is 50%, this is 75%, this is 100%. So I don't want this 25%. I don't want this 25%. I need middle 50%, this one. That means, so what is this range? This is 308 and this is 325 and this is called interquartile range, which is 17. I asked this question and many students made this, they put this 317 as answer. Therefore, I'm explaining everything here. Now, another question is top 75%. What is the top 75% I'm asking? This is bottom 25%. This is 50%, 75. I'm asking top 75%. This is top 75%. So this is basically a quartile 1. This is quartile 2. This is quartile 3. This is minimum. And this is maximum. So what I'm asking, this top 75%. Look into what is the maximum value? 120. What is the Q1? This. So 103 to 120. This is my question. Now let me make another question. So I hope you are understanding what is the solution and why many students made some mistakes. What is the student, what percent of student have research background? This is very simple. You just take a pie chart of graph and pie chart, and I take research and the pie. I just put the levels, and I can put the percentage, and you can clearly see 56% is research one, and 44 is non-research. So this is the answer. What do you understand from 10 CGPA? Okay, so this is very simple question. I just need to basic statistics, descriptive statistics, and I explained also this in the class. And I need to have all these numbers. Okay, so the answer would be in India, instead of 4 CGPA, in India 10-point CGPA is used. In the mean of that is 8.57. The standard deviation is this. The range is from this to that, minimum to the. So basically, you need to describe this, which is very simple. Does SOP have the relationship with the chance of admission? So many students have done this very correctly. So chance of admission with yeah, basic statistics correlation, and let me give you sorry, SOP, LOR, and chance of admission. Okay, so here you can see statement of purpose and chance of admission is 68.4%. letter of recommendation, and chance of admission is 64.5. So this, all of you, most, I mean, except one or two, everyone has done this correctly. Which is the highest? So let me go for next question. Here I used all of them, GRE score, to look into that. Which is the highest value in this table? And I can say 0.88 is somewhere, which is CGPA versus chance of admission. Chance of admission, look into that, because it is asking which has the highest correlation with chance of admission. So this is the row of chance of admission. Here I can see CGPA is 88.2%, 0.882. This is the highest. So here people also. Now next two questions are, what is the highly desired rank of university in admission? So basically this is university rating, where you have highest number of, what is where we have highest frequency. You can just use graph, pie chart, and university rating, and that's it. So where you have third number has 32.4%. And what percent of student have 90% of about chance of admission? So 90% and above, exactly the same thing we need to do. So let me go with Minitab and histogram. I think we have. So here, no. Okay, let me go with edit. Okay, or let me go with the fresh one. Graph, histogram. Again, I'm just chance of admission levels I already placed. So let me go with edit bars, binning. I'm just using 5 of them. Okay, so you can see here. Can you see 90% and onwards? How many? 70. 70 out of 500 is how much? 14%. So this is the answer. So this was a Word document assignment of week 4. We did not have in week 5. Now I'm going over. There were 2 questions in exam or test. So what I have decided, because I cannot change in between, means somebody already started, and if then I cannot edit the question or the test. So what I have decided, I am going to give you the bonus of 2 questions, means I will add 2 questions, 2 points in everyone's performance. So whatever is your test score, let's say you score 37, you will have +2, you will see 39. So this is what I'm going to do. And I shared a study guide or important topics before exam, so I think that was helpful. And I see the performance of the class is really good. Now let me go on. If you have any question, please let me know. Then I'm going on chapter number 6. Is it clear to everyone? Any question before I proceed on chapter 6? Okay. So chapter 6 is discrete probability distribution. Chapter 7 is continuous probability distribution. So as you know, what is discrete? As you know, what is continuous? Discrete means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, means whole number or integer. Continuous can be any decimal point, can also be possible. Okay. So here in this chapter, we have some distribution which is called probably, which is called uniform distribution, binomial, Poisson, hypergeometric, geometric. These are the distributions. Similarly, you will see distribution in continuous. So how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you have to have expected value and variance. So I'm just going to make it very clear. If you don't understand, because you know real um, statistics, real probability is starting from here. So first thing first, what is the probability distribution? And here you can see, let's say if you have 3 coins, if you are tossing the 3 coins, or you are uh, flipping the 3 coins, what could be the probability? You can have all 3 coins head, you can have 2 head, 1 tail, you can have first one head, second one tail, third one head. The fourth possibility, tail, head, head. The fifth one is head, tail, tail. So this is all the possible chances, possible options of when you are flipping 3 coins. Okay. So these are it could be anything out of this. Now we are looking into that. What is the probability of having? So if X is the number of S, then so possible element head. So when a coin is flipped 3 times, the sample space be this much. If X the number of heads, then X is random variable whose probability distribution is given. So what is the probability of having at least one head? So look into, in this case, head will be 0. What is the head? In this case, no head. At least one head. Here in this case you have at least one head, in this case you have at least one head, in this case you have at least one head, which is, this is three cases where you have at least one head. Now look into this case, at least 2 heads, 1, 2, 3. Here you have 3 cases where you have 3 heads. Now the third case where you have all 3 heads, this is the third case. So which is 1 time, means 0 times head, 1 case, 1 times head, 3 cases, 2 times head, 3 cases, and 3 times head, only 1 case. So this is a possible events, and therefore this can be arranged in this form. So can you see now, for 0 head, what is the probability? 1 time, 1 out of 8, which is approximately 12.5, which is 12.5. What about this? 1 head, 37.5, 2, 37.5, 3, again 12.5. Is it clear to everyone? So this is called probability distribution. Keep letting me know. There are two functions, two. One is called probability function and another is called cumulative distribution. So what is the difference between these two? Let me explain with a simple example, which is salary. So I'm just opening my Excel sheet. Can you see this? My Excel. Okay, perfect. So this is, for example, this is my saving account, let's say my bank saving account, before getting a salary in so I have, at the beginning I have $20,000. Let's say in January I got 8,500, February I got this much, March I got, and December I got, sorry, this is, I just put 10,000 here. Okay, so this is my saving in every month. Now let me plot a here. Can you see? So this is, and let me put the add data levels. So this is my salary distribution or saving account saving distribution on monthly basis. Is it correct? So 0 month I have 20,000, first month I have 8,500, then 7,000, and so on, so forth, 10,000, and this is my total at the end of year, my saving account monthly distribution. Now, if I do it cumulative, how I can do? Let me do it. So this is, here I have 20,000, okay, plus 8,500, 28,500, plus 7,200, 28 plus 7, which is 35,000, 35,700, plus 8,800. So, which is going to be 0,0785. So, okay, I do it very good. This plus this plus this plus this equal to this plus this. So just bear with me. It is very important to understand all this concept. Mhm. I hope you are following me. If you don't understand, just let me know through chat. Okay. Now I have, now I'm just going to do a cumulative one. Can you see this? Are you able to see my chart? So what I am able to see, at month first, I have 20,000. I mean, before starting saving, I had $20,000 in my account. First month, I had, by end of January, I have saving 28,500. February, I got 35,700. By June, I had 69,400. By September, I had 98,500. And by December, I had $125,100. So what is this? This is a cumulative. This is cumulative, means keep adding the all previous amount. What is the value of this? It has lot of values. Okay, thank you. So this is called cumulative. And just a minute. And I can't put it back. Just I think nowadays, are you finding a problem in connectivity? Because so I can't go back on the previous one. Okay, I have to delete this. Okay, let it be. I hope now this is better. So this chart is called probability distribution function, and this chart is called cumulative distribution function. What is the advantage of cumulative? I will explain later. So probability distribution function in cumulative, which you can see right here, PDF and CDF. Cumulative density function and probability density function. It is also distribution function or density function. You can so it is clear to you. We can have only 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 0, 1, 2. We can't have 4.5 here, 3.6 here, because we are doing probability distribution, discrete. What is the expected value? And here you can understand. So for example, here expected value, the event and probability of a event. So event, this event, 0 event has probability 5%. The multiplication is 0. 1 event has probability 10%. This is the probability is 10%. 2 has 30%, which is 30 multiplied with 2. So the total expected value is coming 2.75 this way. So this is called, this distribution of Sunday emergency service calls by Ace Appliance Repair. So expected value is event multiplied by event probability. Event, this is event 0, event 1, 2, 3 multiplied by event probability, and then summing all the possible option. So this is expected value is denoted by mu, which is also mean. So what is the particular? Here mean is 2.75, which is in between. What is the variance in the standard deviation? You already know what is variance and what is the standard deviation, and these are the formulas or equations. We don't need to understand this. We already understood what is the relation between standard deviation and variance. This is the one, because everything will be done by computer. Here, this is the example again to calculate, but we are not going to do because we can do it very easily on computer. Now we are coming on real business, which is distribution functions, uniform distribution. What is the uniform distribution? I can clearly explain here. Here, let me use. Let's say we have, in my class, we have freshman, which is first year. We have sophomore, which is second year. We have third year, which is junior, and we have senior, which is fourth year student. And let's say in 60 students, we have 15 students from first year, 15 from second year, 15 from third year, and 15 from fourth year. What is this distribution? Class distribution or student student distribution in my course based on their first year, second year is uniform. Because everyone is 25%. I mean, out of 60, 25% here. This is called uniform distribution. And every distribution have this PDF function, CDF function, mean, standard deviation. These are the four important things that we need to remember. So there we have, in every distribution we have PDF, CDF, mean, and standard deviation. And these are the formulas. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is a PDF, this is a CDF, this is CDF, this because this is keep growing and it is going up to 100%. So if this is the probability distribution, which is if you roll a die, there are 6 phases. What is the probability of getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? This is the all have equal probability. Means there's 16.67 is probability of getting 1, 16.67 for probability getting 2, similarly, and this is a cumulative. Now the question comes here, what is the mean? Mean is A plus B upon 2, which is 1 plus 6, which is 3.5. Standard deviation, if you put the values, which is 1.78. So this is, now look into this, how we can do on Minitab. Here we have calculate. If you are able to see, under calculate we have probability distribution. What we have under this, we have probability distribution, and here we have uniform probability distribution. Here under this we have probability density, cumulative one, inverse one. These are all options here. So I am just going to do and just look into that. Calculate probability distribution, uniform distribution, and here we have probability density. What is the lower point? 1. Upper limit is 6. Here you have you can have input constant. You can have what is the probability of 3, which is 0.2. So don't worry, the uniform distribution is not that important. And the next distribution is very important, which is called binomial distribution. How do you identify this is binomial distribution? Binomial distribution, you have two situations, yes or no, pass or fail. So whenever you see this kind of situation, you are going to do this, you are not going to do this, means you see the by situation, only two situations, success or fail, yes or no, then that is a binomial distribution. Let's say you are going to do a car repair, or you are going to go for car service tomorrow. Okay, you are not going to go for car service tomorrow. Okay, this is exactly opposite. So one such situation is yes, another is no. You are going to attend this thing, or you are not going to attend this thing. You are going to do this, not. So a random experiment with only two outcomes is binomial or Bernoulli experiment. So total is 1. So success is denoted equal to 1 and failure is denoted by 0. If pi is the pass, then 1 minus pi is fail. Let's say you are tomorrow 40% chance that tomorrow I will go for walking. Okay, 60% chance that I will not go for walking. So this is the binomial distribution. There's no problem related to doing problems on Minitab, but the problem is to understand the identify the right distribution, because in this class, in this chapter, we have 5 6 distributions. So never get confused between binomial to Poisson. Therefore I'm putting my emphasis here. So the, the total probability is 1, and the pi is always in between 0 and 1. It could be also 0, it could be 1. What is the pi? Like I said, pi is 40%. I will attend online lecture. Then 1 minus pi, 1 minus 40%, 60%, I will not attend the class. So total is 40% plus 60% is 1. So this is called binomial distribution. And let's do this is PDF, CDF, mean is n and pi, and standard deviation is this formula. So we are not going to remember this. Everything is done through calculator. And look into this example. First example we are going to do. It is important to quick while change shop to ensure that a car service time is not considered late by customer. Service time are defined as either late or not late. So we got two situations, late or not late. If X is the number of cars that are late out of the total number of cars serviced, so we are going to do a numerical here. What is the probability that exactly 2 of the next 12 cars serviced are late? What is the probability of exactly 2 of next 12 services where car is late is 10%, car is not late is 90%. So what we have now, what we need in this distribution, we need couple of things. We need pi value. 3 things we need. Pi value. Pi means event probability. N is how many times you are doing, which is 12. X value, which is 2, means which event you are talking, event number 2. We have now this. So they are asking what is the exactly 2 car serviced are late. Okay, we have all 3 options. Now I'm going to clear. Now look into Minitab. Please focus here. Calculate probability distribution, binomial distribution here. Now we are doing a probability PDF because we are looking on exact number. So number of trials, how many? N is 12. What is the event probability is 10%. What is the input constant? Column I will explain about input column here. What is the constant? X equal to 2. We put all these numbers. Now look into this. What is the probability here? 23%, 0.2301. And look into this. What is the probability? Example is right, 0.2301. So this is very simple. If you understand the problem, you don't need to do all these calculation. You just get the numbers quickly. What is the probability is 23%. Let me do the same example here in our calculator, which is Texas Instrument. Do you want me to go ahead with the calculator also? Okay. Because these are all things we have in calculator. So let me explain with calculator also. I hope I'm recording my class. Yeah. Okay, this is a calculator. You can see, I hope. Okay, thank you. Look into this distribution. Can you see this distribution here under this? So I'm just going to put this second and I'm going to put distribution. Now you can see normal PDF. Can you see normal CDF, inverse normal, and then if you can keep going here, F PDF, chi-squared PDF, T PDF. See here you can see. Can you see the binomial here, right here? So I am using binomial PDF. How many trials we have? 12 trials. What is the probability? 0.10. What is the X value here? 2. And then exactly, can you see the answer? 23 point, sorry, 0.2301, which is the same answer. Is it making sense? So this is where, how do we do? Second and probability, and then here. So now I would like to see what is the probability of event 3. Let me do, instead of I'm going to do here 3. What is the answer here? 8.5%, which is 0.085, which is 8%. What is the probability of being 3 cars late? Is 8.52%. So this is the answer. Now let me go back on my slide. So let's do this example. On an average, 20% of the emergency room patient at Greenwood Hospital lack health insurance. So means whoever comes in the hospital, they have the data, and based on that they identify there are 20% patient are not having insurance, then 80% patients are having insurance. So this is binomial distribution. Clearly you can understand this problem. In a random sample of 4 patients, they took a random sample 4, which is n equal to 4. What is the probability that at least 2 will be uninsured? So they took the 4 sample and they want to check at least 2 will be uninsured. Okay. So do you want me to do on Minitab, or do you want me to do on calculator? Minitab. Okay. Here I go on distribution. Here we have binomial distribution, probability. What is the number of trials? They have 4. They just took 4. What is the event probability? 20, means 20 are 20% uninsured. How many? At least, this is asking 3 or 2. At least 2 will be uninsured. So I'm just putting here 2. And you can see is 15%, 0.1536. This is for 2. Now here the question is coming, at least 2. Now the role of compound event probability is coming here. So what we need to do, at least 2 will be uninsured. So we have to check the probability of 0, probability of 1, and probability of 2, probability 3, probability of 4. So we can see everything here, and then we can compound here. So look into this. Before going into this, I would like to show you third option, which is table. Here you can see here you can see binomial distribution right here. Please look into this. Here, if you can see all this, here on this side, here this is pi value. This is 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%. So this is pi value. Okay. Here this is n. N equal to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we are just checking n equal to 4. N equal to 4. What is the x value here? Then this is x value. X value is 2. So what is the probability? Pi is 20%. This is the 20% is right here. Please try to focus here because this, and we are checking x equal to 2, 3, 4. So which is right here. 2 is this, 3 is this, and 4 is this. So without doing a calculation, even tables are important. So what is the value here? For 2.1536, we calculated using what is the probability of 0.0256 and this. Now let me show you this. So what is this? 0.1536, 0.0 this, the total probability is 18%. Now, this is a question of compound event. So before understanding compound event, I would like to explain the salary part again. So it is now I have this date, this my annual saving. Now my question is here, what is my saving? What is my saving after July? My saving after July. So here is the how I can get to know in one step. This is July month 7. How I can get to know my saving after July? After July, I have to see this month. I have to see this month. Means I have to add July, August plus September plus October plus November plus December. If I do all these things, I can get the saving after July. But this is multi-steps process. It is very difficult. On other hand, how I can do? I know my total saving is 125,100. Then what I can do? So this is my total saving. I know up to July, my saving is 78,000. So I subtract 78,600. The rest of the money, whatever difference I get, that is my saving for August, September, October, November, December. So in cumulative, you have the option to choose to get this kind of answer. Now I have a question. What is my saving till May? So I can directly use cumulative function. I put the value x equal to 5 and this is my answer right here. If suppose I do in simple probability distribution, I need to add this plus this plus this, all 5 months plus previous, all 6 values I need to add, then I need to give the answer of this. So cumulative function gives me very straightforward answer using this. Now I am asking, what is my salary? What is my saving after May? How will you do? What is my saving? I know the total saving is 125,000. and I know May, so I can use 125 minus 125 minus 53 500, and I can get very simply, instead of doing this in multiple steps, I can do it in one go. Are you getting the meaning of this cumulative function? Why we use cumulative function? Because you can, if it is asked how many before, how many after this, you have to do multiple steps in order to get the answer, but in cumulative you can get it one step. So this is another thing. So basically, if you want any value after any particular thing, you always subtract that value from total. So 125 is this, minus, suppose whatever number you need this, then you subtract 69,400. But if you are looking any value below this, you are exactly getting the right number here. You are not subtracting because they are already included previous values. So if this is clear to all of you, I can go back on. I can go back to. So this is asking, if we take 4 patients, what is the probability of at least 2 will be uninsured? Means 2 will be uninsured, means at least 2, 2, 3, 4, means all will be. So basically it is including probability of 2, probability of 3, probability of 4, and it is coming all together 18%. But we can do the same thing using Minitab, using cumulative stat, probability distribution, binomial, and then now I am using cumulative. Now what I need to do here, another thing, I need to get a value of 2, 3, 4. So what I will do, I can do up to 1, and then I subtract with 100% and I get my value. What is this? 81%. So up to 1, I have to draw. So here this is event probability 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is like what I need to do, at least 2, means I need this, I need this, I need this. What I will do, I will do up to here, and then I will subtract with 1. So up to 1, what I get? 81.92%. 100 minus 81.92. What is left? What is left? 18 point, oh, 18.02. 18.08. This is my answer. So here we go. 18.0 is the answer. If this is clear, let me go with compound event. This is the, are you with me? Are you getting what is the compound event probability? Because this is one of the most difficult concept in this entire chapter, because people always get confused with which is the correct x value they need to put in the calculator or Minitab. So what is the probability that fewer than 2 patients will have insurance? Fewer than 2 means it is not asking 2, it is asking 0 and it is asking 1. So if you are, so if you do probability of 0, probability of 1, this is giving you the, but if you use compound event or cumulative, then you can directly get the values here. Look, this is the most important slide in entire chapter, most important to understand. At least 2, What is it asking? At least 2 means it is asking 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. What is the X value that you will put in CDF? 1. You will put 1. Fewer than 2, it is not asking 2. Less than 2 would be up to 1. Fewer than 2 or more than 2, fewer than is this, more than is 2. More than, it is not asking 2. So this has to be very very thoroughly practiced and understand by you people, so that you can do all the numericals and everything. Is it making sense? Okay, now let me go further. Now, how can I do PDF and CDF? So here we have how I can draw PDF and CDF here. So first I need to do, okay, this is, let's say, event, and I do 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, hope you understand. So this is 0 to 8 event means X value. Now I'm going to do binomial distribution of this. Where's binomial? So for number of trials, let's see, I would put here 8. Event probability is 2. Input constant, instead of that, I'm going to put input comma, which is right here. Output storage, I can do it in C2 also. Means all the results, but I don't want to do in C2. So event, I just took these values from here. And you can see these are the event probabilities. For event 0, this is this. And this is cumulative function. At the end, it becomes 0. Now, similarly, I'm going to do PDF probability binomial, and I need to do, I am not changing anything. I'm just using PDF and CDF function. Here you can see this is the value of PDF. Now check these values with 0.16, 0.335, 0.29, and let me show you here. Here you can see what is the pi value in my case, n equal to 8 and pi equal to 2. So this, so pi equal to, so this is the column, and we would like to go n equal to 8, which is the column. Yeah. So this is the column. This is the PDF, exactly the same value we got in our Minitab. 0.167833529, and keep seeing, looking into this. So this is, if we don't have the calculator or Minitab, the table is useful. So this is a PDF distribution. Now I would like to do how I can draw this PDF. Okay, very easy. Where I got the answer, right here. So this is 1, and I copy this entire thing. Copy. What I will do here, I will use a next sheet, because this is the assignment that is there. That draw PDF function and CDF function for file. Okay, this is, now what I need to do, I need to select this, insert, and this is my, so this is my PDF function for particular pi, particular number. Can you see this? I can also add data levels on the top. This is assignment I'm explaining right here. What about CDF? We did CDF. CDF is keep going one. So let me do this CDF again. Where this is CDF, I did copy. and I go on Excel. I put this right here. I select this and insert, and you can see. So this is my CDF function. Can you see? It is starting from first value and then it keep going up to 100. So this is CDF function. If you want to draw, how you can draw. Excuse me. Now, Poisson distribution. When do we use Poisson distribution? Poisson distribution is used when you have something on time scale, something related to time. Let's say on airport, number of passengers arrived particular time, number of flights arrival. So in bank, number of customers arrival, in call center, number of calls made. So whenever you see this kind of situation, you can use Poisson distribution. Number of occurrence within a randomly chosen unit of time, minute, hour, week, month, or a space, square foot, linear mile. So the event occur randomly, independently over continuum of time and space or space. So whenever you see such kind of situation, whenever you see only one factor, which is lambda, that average, then you can always use Poisson distribution. Poisson model is only parameter is lambda, where lambda represent the mean number of events. So whenever you see any situation where you can see a mean events, then you can always use Poisson distribution. Okay, I mean, I'm giving a very simple example. During a Halloween, number of kids visit on your door, let's say 20. Average, in last 20 years, you have been observing that, at least 40, 50, 20 average students visits. Accordingly, you can plan candies. So this is Poisson distribution can be applied in that situation. Here, very simple, mean is only lambda, standard deviation is square root of lambda, PDF is this, CDF is this. Now let's go on the question. On Thursday morning between 9 to 10, customer arrive and enter the queue at Oxnard University Credit Union at a mean rate 1.7 customer per minute. Using the Poisson formula with lambda equal to, find the PDF, mean and standard deviation. So now I am going to do PDF and see, look into this. So 1.7. Now here we have Poisson distribution. If you can see lambda, what is the lambda value here? Lambda value is 1.7. This is the lambda value, 1.7. What is the PDF value here? This. I mean, if you look into this 1.7, this is the PDF. How I can do on Minitab, or that I can do it. So clear, let me do on Minitab. So here I go under calculate probability distribution. Here we go on Poisson distribution. I would like to do on this probability, mean is 1.7. I take the input column, which is my C1, and I get. So this is my probability distribution. 0.18, this. And exactly you can see the same number here for 1.7. This is the exact same number right here. Basically it is going up to 10. I just put 8, so we have up to this value. So we have up to this value. Is it making sense? Mean is 1.7 because mean is lambda, and what is the square root of 1.7? 1.3, that is standard deviation. Now it is asking compound event. What is the probability that 2 or fewer customer will arrive in given minute? 2 or fewer means it is including 2 and all less than 2. So this is, here we go, calculate probability distribution, and then I go to and now we would like to check, and now this is cumulative because it is asking multiple. So I'm just putting here 2, and we get 75.72 customers. And you can see right here, the answer is right here, 75 points. This is the exactly same answer. What is the probability of at least 3 customers? At least 3 customer means it is not including, it is not having, means 2, but it is 3 and more than 3. So what I need to do? 3 and more than 3. So what I will do? I will do up to 2, and then I will subtract with 1, and I will get the answer here. So I will get 2. I already did 2 up to 75 point this much. I subtract with 1, it is coming 24%. This is not easy. Again, I am, you can ask as many as questions. If so, let me do the same example right here in our calculator. So here we have second and we have distribution. We go right here under this binomial Poisson CDS, Poisson PDF. Here we have Poisson CDF. Lambda value is 1.7. What is the x value? Is up to 2. Okay, right here. And paste, we will get 75%. Here we get the 75% right here. And what next? So this is again, some theoretical part. Poisson distribution may be used as an approximation to binomial by setting lambda equal to n pi. Means you can convert binomial distribution with Poisson distribution to convert n pi as lambda. This approximation is helpful when binomial calculation is difficult. Whenever you find it difficult to calculate binomial distribution, you can convert into Poisson and use this. And general rule of good approximation is that should be large, should be small. So basically this is a common rule of thumb is n should be greater than 20 and pi should be less than or equal to 5%. Means it should be this, then you can use now the question is hypergeometric. This is another distribution. What is here? It is advanced form of binomial distribution. It has population, it has sample. So what is the important? Whenever you see a population given, when you see the sample given, you see the success is given, means probability is given, then you can use hypergeometric distribution, because in binomial distribution you have only sample n. Now here you have capital N, which is the size of population. Let's say out of 60 student you are picking 5 student. So 60 is given, 5 is given, then you can blindly use this distribution. Now I go here. Let's say this is the example here, damaged iPod. So in a shipment of 10 iPods, 2 were damaged and at 8 are good. The receiving department at Best Buy test a sample of 3 iPods at random and see they are defective. So n equal to 10, how many sample? 3 is the sample they have taken. S equal to number of damaged iPod, 8 is number of non-damaged. Now let's see the calculation. Minitab, I go to calculate probability distribution. We have hypergeometric. Where is hypergeometric? Hypergeometric is right. So I'm just going here. Here they have, what is the number? 10 iPod. Okay. What is the sample size? Is 3. Event count in population, 2 are damaged. Now we would like to see what is the, any number that for all 3 are 3 are damaged. So this is the hypergeometric that you can use right here. So I can use this, just a minute, calculate probability distribution, hypergeometric right here. And I, instead of that, I choose the, if this one, and you can see this. This is the probability. So it has only probability up to third is second, because only 2 are damaged, rest are 0. So this is hypergeometric probability. You can do this. After hypergeometric distribution, there is one more distribution. Rule of thumb, both the binomial and hypergeometric involve sample size n and trait x as number of success. Binomial sample with replacement, while hypergeometric samples without replacement. So n upon n means sample size and divided by population size should be less than 5%. And pi should be s upon capital N. So basically this is the rule of thumb. We are not going into this much. Now we are going to geometric distribution. What is geometric? A geometric distribution describes the number of binomial trials until the first success is there. Let's say x is the number of trials, unit the first success, range is like pi is a constant probability of success of each trial. Let's see at 5, so this is PDF, CDF, mean standard deviation. At university, 15% of alumni make a donation of pledge during the annual telefund. What is the probability that first donation will occur on 7th call? Means anything is happening, like you are like you play a football, 15 this is the probability of having a goal on every 10th or whatever. What is the probability that on first goal will happen on 10th suit, or 10th kick, whatever you can say. So look into that. This is a is calculate probability distribution. Where is it? Geometric is right here. Probability, what is the event probability? 0.15. What is the constant? Is 7th. Okay. Here, what is the point? This is almost 5.65%. And look into this, which is 0.56%. So basically this is, we are not going into transformation of this. Are you getting me? What I taught or what I explained? Because I finished my lecture. If you have any question, please let me know. Is there any question? Yeah, please, because this is not easy, because next class, thank you so much. So next class and following class will be based on that. So good luck. Thank you. Bye bye. Good night.